Welcome back, everyone, to the deep dive. Ready to get mind-bended again?
Always.
Awesome. So today, we're going deep on the idea that everything is interconnected, like really connected.
Right.
We'll be diving into Greg Braden's The Divine Matrix to explore this concept.
Sounds good to me.
So this Divine Matrix, is it just like a cool name? Or is there something more to it?
Braden says it's like this field of energy connecting literally everything in the universe.
Everything. Whoa.
Yeah, but it's not just empty space. Think of it like a container, a bridge, even a mirror, all rolled into one.
That's a lot to wrap my head around.
And get this, we're not just observing this matrix, we're part of it. Active participants.
Okay, so if we're all woven into this energy field, does that mean, like, our thoughts and feelings could actually affect the world outside us?
That's exactly what Braden proposes. He even delves into scientific evidence backing this up, plus ancient traditions that support this idea of interconnectedness.
For instance.
Well, he talks about this fascinating experiment, the phantom DNA experiment.
Phantom DNA, that sounds creepy. Tell me more.
So researchers took a DNA sample and completely isolated it. Then they exposed the person who the DNA came from to all these different emotional stimuli.
Yeah.
Get this, even though the DNA was totally separate, the donor's emotions directly affected it, like across distances, as if there's this deeper connection going on beyond the physical.
That's wild. So if our emotions can impact our DNA from far away, that has, like, huge implications, right?
Yeah.
Does Braden give any other examples?
Oh, yeah, tons. He looks at studies on prayer and healing, showing that focused intention can influence health, even remotely.
Wow.
There's also this phenomenon called global coherence. Basically, during major world events, human heart rhythms sync up globally.
No way, really?
Yeah, suggesting some underlying unity connecting us all. It's pretty amazing.
Okay, so this interconnectedness thing is looking less like a theory and more like, well, reality. But how does this divine matrix actually work? Is there, like, a language we can use to interact with it?
Now we're getting to the good stuff. Braden says it's not just about thoughts, but feelings. Specifically, heart-based emotions like gratitude, compassion,
So just thinking good thoughts isn't enough. We have to really feel it.
Exactly. He says these emotions have a certain frequency or vibration that resonates with the divine matrix.
Kind of like tuning into a radio station. You need the right frequency to pick up the signal.
You got it. And think about music. Different emotions create different vibrations in us.
Okay, that makes sense. So, like, some emotions resonate harmoniously with the matrix,
Yeah.
just like some musical notes sound good together.
Exactly. And just like music can uplift us, these emotions could actually influence the energy field around us. Pretty cool, huh?
So if we can tap into these, like, heart-based emotions and their unique frequencies, could we actually use them to shape our own reality?
That's the million-dollar question that Braden tackles in The Divine Matrix. He gives some really compelling examples. But before we get into those, let's talk about the practical steps he lays out for working with this interconnected field. He calls them the 20 key practices for communicating with the divine matrix.
Practices,
Yeah.
like things we can actually do.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
These practices range from like setting clear intentions to cultivating gratitude to using visualization. They're all about aligning our thoughts, feelings, and actions with the frequency of the
Yeah.
matrix, getting in sync.
So it's not enough to just understand this stuff. You have to actually do something with it. The
Yeah.
20 practices, that's a lot. Where do you even start?
Well, Braden says it's a journey, not a race. You don't need to master all 20 right away. Just pick a few and try incorporating them into your life. You might even be surprised to realize you're already doing some of them without knowing it.
Really? Like what? Give me an example.
Think about those moments when you just had a gut feeling about something and it turned out to be right. Or when you experienced all these coincidences that led you exactly where you needed to be. Those could be you, like tapping into the divine matrix and its guidance.
I have had those moments of synchronicity where things just fall into place perfectly, almost like orchestrated by some unseen force. But I usually just write them off as coincidences.
Sure, that's a common reaction. But what if those synchronicities are actually signs from the divine matrix, like messages trying to guide us? Braden encourages us to really pay attention to these little nudges and recognize them as potential communication from this interconnected field.
That's an interesting way to think about it. So instead of just brushing those coincidences aside, maybe we should be trying to figure out what they mean.
Exactly. It's about shifting our perspective and being open to the possibility that there's more to reality than what we can see and touch.
Intuition.
Mhm.
Something that's always fascinated me. Is there a connection between intuition and this divine matrix?
Braden believes so. He says intuition is another way we can access information from the divine matrix, like this huge network of knowledge and wisdom that connects us all.
So it's like we're all plugged into this universal internet, and intuition is like downloading information from it.
Exactly. And sometimes those downloads come through as intuitive
That
insights.
makes sense. It's like when you just know something, but you can't explain how you know it.
Hmm.
But how do we, like, develop our intuition? Learn to trust those inner whispers more?
That's where those 20 practices come in. By practicing things like meditation, visualization, and gratitude, we can strengthen our connection to the divine matrix and, in turn, sharpen our intuition.
Training our minds and hearts to become more receptive to those subtle signals from the universe.
Exactly. And as we become more attuned to this language of the divine matrix, our whole perception of reality might start to shift.
Like seeing the world through a new lens. Noticing connections that were always there, but we just couldn't see them before.
Exactly. And that shift can have a huge impact on how we relate to, like, ourselves, others, and the world around us. We might experience more empathy, compassion, and a deeper sense of belonging.
Because if we truly get that we're all interconnected, then our actions have ripple effects throughout this whole divine matrix. It naturally leads to a greater sense of responsibility for, like, everyone and everything.
Absolutely. And that brings us to another key concept in the divine matrix, the idea that we're not just passive recipients of reality, but active participants in shaping it. Braden says we are, in essence, creators.
Okay, so let's talk about this creator thing.
Yeah.
What does it actually mean to create our reality in the context of this divine matrix?
Well, Braden suggests that our thoughts, feelings, and beliefs are like blueprints. They influence the energy patterns within the matrix.
Kind of like an architect designing a building. Our intentions lay the foundation for what we experience.
That's a great way to put it. And it shows how important it is to be a conscious creator. If we're not aware of our thoughts and feelings, we might accidentally create experiences that we don't actually want.
That makes me think about those times when I've dwelled on negative thoughts, and then it felt like those worries just kept attracting more negativity into my life.
Yeah, that's a common experience. When we focus on negative stuff, we're feeding the matrix with low frequency vibrations. And since it acts like a mirror, it reflects those vibrations back to us, creating a vicious cycle.
So how do we break free from that? How do we shift our energy to create a more positive reality?
That's where those 20 practices come in handy. They're tools to cultivate a more positive state of being, so we can intentionally direct our creative power towards what we want to experience.
This is really making me think. I can see how becoming more mindful of my thoughts and emotions could affect every part of my life. It's like taking ownership of my role as a co-creator of my reality.
Exactly. And it's not just about like getting material stuff or achieving specific goals. It's about aligning our intentions with what our heart truly desires, creating a life that feels authentic and meaningful.
And remembering that our creations don't just impact us, they impact everyone and everything,
Hmm.
because we're all interconnected within this divine matrix.
Exactly.
Well, this has been a fascinating deep dive so far. I'm definitely feeling inspired to look more into this divine matrix and these 20 practices. We'll pick this back up in part 2, where we'll explore those practices and other mind-blowing ideas from the divine matrix. See you then. All right, so last time we left off talking about those 20 practices from the divine matrix. Like, are these just vague spiritual concepts, or are we talking actual practical things we can do?
Oh no, these are totally concrete things you can integrate into your life. They're all about shifting your energy and aligning with the frequency of the divine matrix.
Okay, but 20 is a lot. Give me like a top 3 to get started.
All right. Well, Braden really emphasizes the power of gratitude.
Gratitude, yeah, that's always a good one.
Yeah.
But how does that tie into this whole divine matrix thing?
Well, it's about shifting your focus from what you lack to what you have. Feeling genuine appreciation sends out like a high frequency vibration into the matrix, and that can attract more good stuff into your life. Like attracts like right.
Okay, that makes sense. What else?
Another big one is setting clear intentions.
Intentions. So
Yeah.
like goals.
Kind of, but it goes deeper than that. It's about getting crystal clear on what you want to create in your life and then holding that vision with real feeling and conviction.
So it's not enough to just like vaguely wish for something. You got to put some real energy behind it.
Exactly. And the third one that's really powerful is visualization.
Ooh, visualization. I've dabbled in that. But how does it connect to the divine matrix?
Braden says that when you vividly imagine something, you're essentially creating a blueprint for it in the energy field.
So, like, if you can see it and feel it in your mind, you're more likely to manifest it in reality.
Exactly. It's like sending out a strong signal to the matrix, And the more you practice these techniques, the more you strengthen your connection to the divine matrix and become a more conscious creator.
This stuff is really fascinating. But, sometimes it feels like I'm trying to change my thoughts and feelings, and it's just like an uphill battle. Any advice for, like, how to actually make those shifts?
Well, it's important to remember that change takes time and practice. Be patient with yourself. Don't get discouraged if you don't see results overnight. It's like learning a new language. It takes consistent effort.
Okay, so no quick fixes. Got it. But what about those times when, like, life throws you a curveball? How can this divine matrix stuff help you deal with, like, challenges and setbacks?
Well, Braden emphasizes that the divine matrix is always supporting us, even in those tough times.
Even when it doesn't feel like it.
Right. It's like this infinite source of wisdom and strength that we can tap into. But sometimes we need to clear out the mental and emotional clutter that's blocking us from receiving that support.
So how do we do that?
Well, practices like meditation and mindfulness can be really helpful for calming the mind and connecting with that deeper sense of peace and knowing that's always within us.
Okay, so it's about, like, quieting the mental chatter and tuning into that deeper wisdom.
Exactly. And even in the midst of chaos, we can choose to focus on gratitude, love, and compassion. Those high frequency emotions can really help shift our perspective and help us navigate those challenges with more grace and resilience.
It's interesting because sometimes when things are really tough, it's easy to fall into that trap of feeling like a victim. Like, why is this happening to me?
Yeah, I've been there. But Braden suggests that maybe instead of asking, why me, we could ask, what is this trying to teach me?
Okay, so reframing the situation as an opportunity for growth.
Exactly, because even those challenging experiences can be like valuable lessons in disguise. It can help us evolve and become stronger. And sometimes, those challenges can lead us to something even better than we could have imagined.
It's like those times when, like, one door closes and then another, even bitter door opens.
Right. But we might miss that open door if we're too busy focusing on the closed one.
So it's about trusting the process,
Yeah.
even when we don't understand it.
Exactly. And that's where faith comes in.
Faith, like religious faith.
Not necessarily. Braden defines faith as the ability to trust in something beyond what we can see or prove. It's about having that deep inner knowing that everything is unfolding as it should, even when we don't have all the answers.
Yeah. Okay, so it's about surrendering to something bigger than ourselves,
Yeah.
trusting that there's a higher intelligence at work.
Exactly. And that surrender can be really liberating. It can free us from that constant need to control everything and allow us to flow with life's currents.
This all reminds me of that saying, let go and let God.
Yeah, it's a similar concept. It's about recognizing that we're not in charge of the whole universe.
Mm.
There's a higher power at play. And when we align with that power, things just seem to work out more effortlessly.
It's like we're tapping into a source of infinite wisdom and support.
Exactly. And that's what the divine matrix is all about. It's this interconnected field of energy that's always there for us, guiding us, supporting us, and helping us create a more beautiful and meaningful life.
This has been really eye-opening. I feel like I'm starting to understand this divine matrix stuff on a deeper level, and I'm definitely excited to explore those 20 practices and see how they can help me create a more fulfilling and aligned life.
It's a journey, for sure, but it's a really rewarding one.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground today, but we're not done yet. Join us in part 3, where we'll dive even deeper into some of those mind-blowing concepts from the divine matrix and explore how we can all tap into this incredible power within us to create a more conscious and connected world. See you then. Okay, so we've talked about this divine matrix, these 20 practices. It's a lot to digest, but, like, how does this all actually play out in the real world?
Right. Well, one of the most fascinating things Braden explores is the power of collective intention.
Collective intention, meaning, like, when a bunch of people focus their energy on the same thing.
Exactly. He says that when a critical mass of people holds a shared intention, it can create a powerful ripple effect in the matrix.
So, like, the more people who are aligned with a particular intention, the stronger the impact on reality.
Exactly. He even points to examples in history where, mass meditations or prayers have coincided with positive shifts in global events.
Wow, so we're not just talking about manifesting personal desires here. We're talking about like influencing the course of history.
That's what Braden suggests. He believes that we have the collective power to create a more peaceful, loving, and sustainable world. But it requires us to wake up to our interconnectedness and take responsibility for our thoughts, feelings, and actions.
It's like instead of feeling helpless and overwhelmed by all the negativity in the world, we can actually do something about it. We could be part of the solution.
Exactly. And it starts with each of us taking those small steps. There's 20 practices: cultivating gratitude, setting clear intentions, visualizing a better world.
And those seemingly small actions can actually contribute to a larger collective shift.
Exactly. It's like imagine 1,000 points of light all shining together. That creates a much brighter light than just one candle flickering alone.
That's a beautiful analogy. It really highlights the power of unity and collaboration.
And it's not just about like formal group meditations or anything. It can be as simple as like choosing to focus on love and compassion in your everyday interactions.
So like smiling at a stranger, offering a helping hand, practicing forgiveness, those things can actually make a difference.
Absolutely. Every act of kindness, every positive thought, every moment of connection sends out ripples of love and healing into the matrix. And those ripples can spread and touch countless lives.
It's like that butterfly effect, right? Where one small
Mm.
action can have far-reaching consequences.
Exactly. And when enough of us choose to align with those higher frequencies of love, compassion, and peace, we can create a powerful wave of positive change that can transform the world.
Wow, that's really inspiring. Give me hope. So as we wrap up this deep dive, what would you say is the most important takeaway for our listeners?
I would say remember that you're not just a drop in the ocean, you're the entire ocean in a drop. You are a powerful creator, and you have the ability to shape your reality and contribute to a better world.
That's powerful. So if you're feeling inspired to learn more about this divine matrix and explore those 20 practices, I highly recommend checking out Greg Braden's book. It's full of fascinating insights and practical tools for living a more conscious and connected life. And until next time, keep diving deep and exploring the mysteries of the universe. Thanks for joining us.